Hi, it's Wayne O'Keefe, and I'm fishing midsummer in the Golden River, and it is hot, damn hot. I'm just looking at the temperature. It's 42 degrees. It's 5:45 in the evening. It's still that hot. Thankfully, the sun isn't out. It's shrouded in cloud at the moment. I can't imagine how hot it will get if I'm standing in the sun. This current position that I'm in, as the sun drops, it is shaded by the trees on the far side there. So, but that doesn't happen till about 6:30. So I could have 45 minutes of excruciating heat if that sun comes out. Anyway, got to ask yourself, what kind of fool would fish on a day like this? Well, I'll tell you what, a fishing fanatic. So today, hot as it is, fishing for practically anything. But with these temperatures coming into evening, you know, you can get a lot of the fish feeding. The cod can be quite active, especially as it gets onto dark. Obviously you'll get carp, and I don't mind catching those. I mean, they're good fun. There's a bit of flow in this water, so they use the current against you. So you feel like you got a male at a time. So that's great fun. Anyway, one of the first things I'm doing is I haven't even set up yet. Got here, looked around, found a couple of spots that I'm going to fish. Now, what I've got here, this red stuff, is what I call my it's my sweet and sour worm, and it is effectively, these are pellets that I've made up that I've been experimenting with over the last year, and they've been working really, really well. So this is the burley that I use in the water in front of me. I'll cast this in, so I'm not going to be casting out too far. I'll throw this in close to where my hook bait is, and just keep a little trickle of this going in. This really draws the fish up. Doesn't feed them at all. There's no food content there, but it smells delicious. It's sort of like walking past a barbecue when somebody's cooking bacon and eggs, or maybe they're cooking their onions with their steak. It's just sensational. So yet again, trying this out to make sure that I bring as many fish in, and also I'll be fishing with burley cages and with my standard bite hard burley that I use to get those fish in close. Anyway, let's see how we go. Promises to be exciting, and if not exciting, very hot. I've been here for about 15 minutes, starting to get some bites actually, which is good. I've thrown the burley in front of me, so it's bringing in activity. Brings in the yabbies, but that's okay, because if it brings in the yabbies, it brings in the things that feed on the yabbies, and that's the fish. So I'm okay with that. Now, when it gets hot, umbrellas are good for keeping the rain off, but they can also keep the sun off. What I've done here is I've just set up, I've got a golf umbrella, and I've got a spike that into the ground. I put the umbrella on it like that, underneath it, cover the sun. I can sit there in the shade of that and not the searing heat. So it really, really helps to have something like that with you. It's easily packed up and compactable, but when it's wet, it keeps me dry. And when it's hot like this, at least it keeps the sun off, so it can make your fishing a lot more pleasurable. So just a little hint. This whole process is set up a couple of bucks. You can get these things. Sometimes you can get golf umbrellas at garage sales and things like that. Just fill the rod. It's all make do, but I tell you what, you'll appreciate it when it gets to 42 degrees. Well, first fish of the day, little silver perch, and these things are incredibly fast. You've got to be holding your rod. Graphite rod helps a lot if you can actually feel everything that's happening. But it was basically feeling this, and I was losing bait for quite a bit. And the smaller dips of the yabbies disappeared, so I knew there was a bigger predator there. So I held my rod, and this is what I got. So good start to the day, at least. One thing I didn't mention is that I'm using worms today. That's my primary bait. The thing about it is that the worms, I'm not using scrub worms. I'm using garden worms or compost worms. They work very well, and you can get quite a few onto a size 8 hook, which is what I'm using. Size 8 hook, yes, it's relatively small for water like this, but the Australian natives, especially the smaller ones, have got small mouths. So you need something that they can actually fit in their mouth, so you get a chance to catch your nose, like I did with that first silver perch. But the other thing is that the more worms you've got on the hook, the more action you've got, the more chance you've got fish of coming in after that bait. Well, I'm into another one, and I think it's another perch. No, it's not. No, it's a carp. It's At least it's a fish. Okay, so there you go. Little carp. Just all the fish are coming into the same technique. The good feeding of the burley in there. I was packing up, thinking I should go because it's just so windy. Branch fell down over there. I'm not sure how long I'll stay, but I will put some burley into the area so that in the morning I might be profiting from what I did the night before. Well, after the wind last night I called it quits, but I'm back here this morning, same spot, fishing around about 7:30, 7:45 now. The first thing I did is just simply threw in the sweet and sour worm pellets that I have, so that I'll stimulate the area once more. I'm hoping that the food that I threw in last night, the burley that I threw in last night, is going to stimulate some of this activity already, so I'm hoping that the fish might be around in the area because there was food there. Well, I've been drip feeding burley in for some time now, and I just caught this fish. Little silver perch, a small one, on worm again, and it's taken a bit of effort. I've been just throwing it out. I've been doing this for about an hour. I had a couple of bites, missed them, but then it went quite a while, and then suddenly I got something back. So surprising how many fish you can bring in, even on a pretty hard day. So far, a couple of the guys have been coming back in their boats, caught nothing. So it just takes a bit of persistence and the right techniques. So certainly getting the burley in the area will do the job for you. I'm getting hits on this rod. I've had to hold it because they are so fast. So these are, I would imagine, small silver brim and, sorry, small silver perch. And they hit and run so fast that you get a reasonable pull on the rod, but you don't have a time to react because it's just it's happening so inconsistently, so you just never know. So I've sort of just had to hold the rod now and wait. So I've had a couple of bites I've just missed, and I'm holding this again. I'm hoping it hasn't stripped the bait, all the bait off the hook. So I'll just have to hold this here and see what I can do. Wow, once again missed a bite on this. Gee, these things are hard to hook, and I missed it again. Darn it! Well, I came back and just got this fish here, so I came back for an hour before I actually left for the day. So I don't have long. This is caught about half an hour into the session using the same techniques. I've got into another one, and this is actually, this one feels pretty good, and I don't want it to get into those snags. It's a bigger fish than I expected, and I think it's probably a carp, I would imagine, the way it's fighting there. It'd be great if it was something better, but I think it's going to be a carp. Anyway, I don't care. Fights. And wow, it's taking a bit of drag here, and I've got to be really careful because otherwise it'll pull me into the snags directly to my right there. So just get it in front of me. I didn't have much room to play this thing because I've only cast in a couple of rod lengths out, and I mean I've been catching the silver perch, which has been great, but I knew sooner or later the carp would get interested. So, but what the hell? They test your gear. So I just get my well, it's not a huge fish, but that current on that bend is really quite powerful. So it gives him plenty of push to get round the bend into those snags. So okay, so there we go. I think I've just about winded him. There he is. Okay, now I've just got to get my net. Where did I put my net? Okay. Oops. Okay. Okay, there we go. Oh, okay. There we have it. Okay, the carp. So, this is the carp that I just caught then. I got a little bit excited. I thought it might have been another Australian native, which would have been a nice size. Anyway, it's a couple of kilos, maybe 2.5. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about that. Well, I'm into another one. Well, came right into shore. It's not a big fish, it's a relatively small carp, but took me by surprise. Okay, here we go. Well, okay, so you can see it's not a big fish, but actually what's interesting is this fish doesn't have, it's got broken barbels on this side and its mouth is a bit torn, which suggests to me that it's got away. It's basically been hooked and torn away. It could have also been, sort of hooked and then torn through, braid doing that. But anyway, another little fish. Okay. Now, this is what I think has been taking my bait all along. These small silver. Now, this is a really small silver perch, little one, little fella. But this, yeah, this is what has been taking the bait, and obviously they pull it, but and then don't get hooked because their mouths are so small. So anyway, that's a nice little fish there. Try another one. Just a little one. Well, this one's the smallest of the day. Okay. Ooh. Yeah, another small fish here, but if you want to have a bit of fun, they're pretty good. And so I'm getting rid of another one out of the waterway. The important stuff. Give it a bit of fight. Not bad fun at all. Now, it always pays to have a look around your fishing spot first before you do any fishing. Now, you'll see that there's bubbles coming to the top there in that water. Now, that normally happens a lot of waterways where there's a lot of leaves and things like that, vegetation that fall into the water and rot down. They cause gas to mount up in the silt and they can give off bubbles. But there's also there's mud being stirred up there in that water, as you can see there right now. That is usually carp activity. So you can see it's getting quite rich. They're moving around in the water and looking for bits and pieces of food. So there's most definitely fish in there. And it's, if you're targeting carp and you want to look to places they will feed, well, this is definitely one of them, and you can set up your fishing from there. Well, final fish of the day, another little silver perch. This is a really small fella, and that's it. At the end of the day, I really have to go. The fishing's been so good, I've stayed a bit longer than I should have. If you've enjoyed the video, please give us a thumbs up and subscribe. If you're interested in any more information on catching fish, go to my website, howtofish.com.au.